the very much condemned region, Central and Eastern Europe of last year, which of course was affected by the crisis, is, if you ask me, in a comparable, relatively sound situation. And one of the reasons has been mentioned with regards to the banks, because that was the second attack that we had to face, because we are doing very prudent bread and butter business. This brings me to the subject of the question. We will continue to service the market with bread and butter business. That means lending where it's needed, managing deposits in the widest sense. Is that enough? No, it is not. The issue to create money markets, to create capital markets, has been on the forefront for many years. The success is very little. You may ask me what is the reason for that. Partly it has been mentioned already. We need to have a concerted action between regulators, central banks, and commercial banks. If we don't get this concerted action, we won't have a money market, not to talk about a capital market. I would be very glad if we would have a money market in all the countries. And in second instance, of course, how can you start the discussion? Of course you can start the discussion, but how can you seriously lead the discussion? We need to have only local currency lending if the prerequisites don't exist. So the first thing what we have to do is to get the prerequisites in place. Get the buy-in of the major counterparties. If we don't get a cooperation between regulators and commercial banks, we won't ever progress in that field. Banking is getting more expensive due to 1,000 other reasons, but the time wouldn't allow it. That means, in other words, we will make less profits. Thanks to God, the investors have accepted that broadly. I mean, they are not expecting the 25% return on equity any longer. They know that the returns on equity will go and range between 15 and 18, roughly. So all that we have to know, and therefore I think a major consequence of commercial banks, at least working in the area, is to work on efficiency. This is exactly what we have done the last 18 months. So efficiency is the name of the game for the future. Can we do something for lending? Of course we can. But in reality, the situation with most of the banks presently is the same. We had a funding issue at the beginning, then we got a capital issue, mainly fueled also by non-performing loans, and now we have an over-liquidity issue. Would that mean that I'm advocating that the ECB should withdraw liquidity from the markets? Well, they won't do anyhow, due to the package that has been created now. No, because the markets are still young blossoms and we need to let them grow for a while at least, and not adopt a policy of scarce liquidity.